Hello, and welcome to WMLT News. I'm Richard Babbage. A new parkway may pose a potential threat to some Hinton homeowners. The small town of Hinton, West Virginia is home to Sandstone Falls, a popular attraction along the New River that has been drawing people who love the outdoors for many years. However, the only way to get to the falls is a river road, a narrow one lane that easily becomes crowded. The National Park Service has started construction of a two-lane parkway to enhance the road and make it more scenic. This, however, is not as exciting to residents as it will be for visitors. Residents of River Road are worried about the impending possibility of having to sell their land to the Park Service. Many homes, as well as a campground, have been bought by the Park Service along the road, but only by willing sellers. At this time, all construction is focused on the first section of the road and will be required no one to move. However, the future plans of the road are still being decided and many homeowners are unsure of how to react. This semester, Concord University students switched from their old campus IDs to newer, more versatile ID cards. WMLT's Dalton Paul has the details.
With the start of the spring semester, Concord University students will be encountering many changes. One of them will be receiving new university ID cards. They are being upgraded to Blackboard One cards and hold many advantages for students over the previous IDs. I spoke with Anna Hardy, Student Activities Director, about the upgrade.
The new card will be called the Concord Cash Card, and it has several different advantages on the card. I know that you will be able to receive your financial aid refund on the card. That gives you several different options. There's going to be an ATM on campus where you could withdraw your money. You could also withdraw your money with no fee charged at a Walmart. Up to $9,999 you can withdraw. You can also use it, you'll be able to use it for the Aramark Food Services and for the library. You will also be able to use the Concord Cash Card to deposit your student paycheck. It works as a prepaid debit card, so there are no possibilities of overdraft fees.
With so many new features on the Concord Cash Card, I was curious to see how students felt about the new ID. How do you feel about the new Concord ID cards we're getting this semester?
I didn't know we was getting new ID cards.
I think that'd be a lot more convenient for the students here. You know, you're kind of combining everything into one instead of, having to do everything separately. And these ID cards are kind of, they're not really versatile. They only really do one thing. You have your flex dollars and your lunch dollars on them. You can go eat in the caf. But if you can take this card and go to Walmart and go eat in the caf or at Subway, it's a lot easier. Kind of kill two birds with one stone.
While many things will change on the ID, one thing will always stay the same. Students will continue to eat. From Athens, West Virginia, this has been Dalton Paul reporting.
Tuesday marked the 200th birthday of Charles Dickens. He was the first global celebrity author and chronicler of an urban of world inequality. Events were held in Portsmouth, southern New England, where Dickens was born. Flowers and wreaths were placed on the writer's grave in the Poet's Corner, where Dickens rested with other national literary icons. Biographer Claire Tomalin said that, quote, "You only have to look around our society and everything he wrote about in the 1840s is still relevant," end quote. Prince Charles and his wife Camilla, along with other high figures, arrived at the memorial service Tuesday in London's Westminster Abbey to pay their respects to the literary icon. Now with Concord Sports, here's Brett Dodrell.
Thanks, Richard. Last Sunday, the biggest sporting event in America, the Super Bowl, was played at Lucas Oil Field in Indianapolis. The New England Patriots faced off against the New York Giants in only the third Super Bowl rematch in NFL history. This classic battle of high-powered offense versus ferocious defense proves yet again that defense does indeed win championships. The Giants' pass rush bombarded Tom Brady for most of the night, throwing the Patriots' offense off of its rhythm. Justin Tuck led the Giants' defense with 2 sacks, and Jason Pierre-Paul added 2 pass deflections, while Eli Manning proved his elite status by throwing for 296 yards and tossing a touchdown to wide receiver Victor Cruz. The Giants jumped out to a 9-0 lead in the first quarter, highlighted by a safety on the Patriots' first offensive play by way of an intentional grounding call in the end zone. The Patriots got on track in the second and third quarters, pushing their lead to 17-9. However, the Patriots offense stalled on several drives and opened the door for Eli Manning to work his fourth quarter magic once again. As the last quarter waned, the Giants milked 3 of the final 4 minutes off the clock before Ahmad Bradshaw finally scored the go-ahead touchdown. The Patriots ended the game with a last valiant heave towards the end zone as time expired, but it was batted to the ground and the Giants returned to world champion status. Back to you at the desk.
Miner safety is a top priority at Trinity Resources. The company in Putnam County has been working tirelessly on a new project for 3 years. The new equipment resembles a big steel box on bulldozer tracks. The steel-looking device is designed to keep underground miners safe in the event of an explosion or collapse. The device, named Guardian Angel, is a mobile chamber that contains enough oxygen to keep 15 miners alive for up to 4 days. The device, also equipped with a toilet, also features storage for food, first aid, and water. The steel box can withstand temperatures of 1,100 degrees Fahrenheit, with the temperature inside not exceeding 90 degrees. The chamber meets all of the 2018 federal regulations, and the company is ready to start taking orders for the chambers. The new device was unveiled at the West Virginia Mining Symposium in Charleston. The 2012 halftime show once again was the talk of the game. British singer MIA made a rude gesture along with an expletive during Madonna's new single. The singer flashed her middle finger, followed by saying the expletive, which more than 100 million viewers of the biggest TV event of the year witnessed. NBC spokesman said, quote, "The obscene gesture in the performance was completely inappropriate, very disappointing, and we apologize to our fans," end quote. The halftime show also included CeeLo Green and Nicki Minaj, who accompanied Madonna in her performance. Stay tuned. We'll return with more at WMLT News in just a moment. Welcome back to WMLT News. New York City is having trouble enforcing the idling rule, a law that was passed that gives drivers 3 minutes to turn off idling engines and 1 minute to turn off their engines if they are adjacent to a school. The purpose of the law is to attempt to improve air quality. The toxic air has been shown to increase rates of asthma and put children at risk of developmental delays. Environmental advocates complain that the laws do little to improve air quality due to the lack of enforcement. Only a few thousand out of the 10 million parking tickets each year are because of idling. The number of idling tickets would be greatly increased if the traffic enforcement agents were properly citing drivers. Here now with this week's Community Corner is Courtney Van Otter.
Welcome to this week's Community Corner. I'm Courtney Van Otter. As the spring semester takes off, Concord is foregoing a few changes. All students have been issued a new Concord ID called the Concord Cash Card. The Cash Card is your ID card and your debit card all in one. Students can opt in their check change or student payroll, which can be directly deposited to the card. The ID Cash Card can also be used to withdraw or deposit money. One of our faculty members was also promoted. Dr. Jennifer Robinette is the new coordinator of the satellite campus for the Beckley Division. Dr. Robinette is still teaching at the Athens campus 2 days a week. More changes have continued around Athens. In Princeton, Tutors has closed and a new art gallery has opened. Neighbors Arts and Crafts is a new store that not only provides supplies, but gives artists a place to learn and share with other local artists. Neighbors has a gallery featuring artists within a 200-mile radius. In other news, the Campus Beautiful welcomed the Concord cheerleading team back early from break. Concord University cheerleaders returned to school 2 weeks early, practicing 2 to 3 times a day leading up to their trip to Walt Disney World. They placed 8th in the nation at the UCA National Championship. That's it for this week's Community Corner. Back to you, Richard.
A local man in Hinton sought out permission to wear a costume on West Virginia Day and may have started something much bigger. Bobby Cox, head maintenance man, asked for permission at the Summers County Commission meeting. The commission set June 19th as 2012 as the official day for city and county employees to don Civil War attire if they choose to do so. President Jerry Berry says the simple start could turn into something much more. The ideas for a celebration, parade, or Civil War reenactment area are all potential plans. These types of festivities could bring in serious money and business to the area. A federal appeals court in California turned down Proposition 8 on Tuesday, making gay marriage legal throughout the state. The 9th U.S. Circuit Court, who made the 2-1 decision, stated that the Proposition 8 works a meaningful harm to gays and lesbians in the state. Proposition 8, which passed a state election in 2009 with 52% of the vote, judged that gay marriage was an institution defined by one man and one woman. The vote raised controversy, however, because of its confusing language and questions regarding its legality. California previously allowed same-sex marriage before the ban. An appeal of the decision is likely in the coming weeks from the opposition. Here now with this week's Ticket or Leave It is Dalton Paul.
Thanks, Richard. A different kind of movie hits theaters this January that will leave you on the edge of your seat. Underworld Awakening in 3D continued the vampire adventures of previous movies with breathtaking special effects and a daring storyline. Celine, played by Kate Beckinsale, is a vampire who finds herself escaping a grisly imprisonment, but she soon finds herself in more trouble than she bargains for. It's a sci-fi flick that will leave you wanting more, but be advised, this R-rated action movie is full of gore. Another movie that leaves its audience satisfied was one of the most feel-good movies of the season. The family-friendly We Bought a Zoo features a family moving shortly after the wife and mother character dies. Benjamin Mee, played by Matt Damon, moves his 2 kids to a property that comes with a little something extra. The zoo animals seem like a lot to handle at first, but as the family pulls together, they get the rundown park ready for reopening day. In the excitement of starting over, Benjamin finds himself falling for Kelly Foster, played by Scarlett Johansson. Benjamin has to deal with the feelings of his late wife and the new feelings he has for Kelly. The movie is sure to make you shed at least one tear and a smile in triumph at the end. You'll leave the theater wanting your own zoo, so some say. That's all for this week's Take It or Leave It. Back to you at the desk.
That's all for this week's WMLT News from Concord University. Tune in again in 2 weeks.